Hello.
That was terrible.
That was very bad.
I'd forgotten how to clap.
It was his name's birthday.
Round 20 of the NRL and round 3 of the NRLW are now in the books. And mixed bag.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that happened, I will say.
Yes.
I think there was
Some interesting stuff,
some not so interesting
some not
stuff.
so interesting stuff. Yes.
We will get started with the NRLW. The Eels got their second win fairly convincingly. They really beat the crap out of the Raiders.
The Raiders are bad this
The
week.
Raiders are not good.
Really better way to put it. Outside the Raiders are pretty hapless right now. It's just Rachel Pearson was excellent in this game. Picked up the maximum Dally M points. She was great. Chloe Jackson was also great in I think the forwards. I don't know. I haven't written down what position she is, but she was excellent. 142 meters, scored a try, played the full game, 2 line breaks, 8 tackle breaks, try assist. She was everywhere. She was very, very
I
good.
guess you'd be a bit disappointed with her 3 missed tackles out of 21.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of that comes as a function of her not having the opportunity to make a lot of tackles because they were just beating them so
Yeah,
much.
that's fair.
Thing. For the Raiders, the real only shining light I thought was Elise Simpson. She was quite good out the back. But it's just the Raiders are conceding 34.5 points a game.
Not good enough.
Nowhere near NRLW standard, in my opinion.
Something needs to change.
But Elise Simpson was very strong. She 212 meters. That's impressive.
Pretty good.
Yeah, as a fullback, that's probably what you want. And I think it's the highest run meter total so far. She
Yeah,
was quite good.
But yeah, they need to do something to turn this season around. Otherwise, they're going to be winless.
Mm-hmm. Oh, didn't they win? No, they are
No,
winless.
they haven't won anything.
They're the only one. It's them and the Tigers haven't won anything yet.
Yeah.
So.
They need to get something going. So I just want to see if that changes.
The Dragons handed the Dogs their first ever loss.
Good one.
Yeah, they did all right. I was quite impressed with the Dragons. Led by winger playing centre in this game for some reason, Keely Brown. She was excellent, 180 meters, try, 7 tackle breaks, and Hannah Southwell was also phenomenal. They've got a couple of really good players.
The Southwell sisters are very, very good.
Yeah, both of them are excellent footballers. I still think Tegan Berry is maybe the most underrated player in the NRLW. For as much as I think she does get quite a few, like she gets lauded a bit, she should be probably top 3 in the league. She's so good. For the Bulldogs, again, their best player this week was Alexis Taoniai.
That looks correct.
Taoniai, I think is how you pronounce it. I'll figure it out at some point. But yeah, she was great. 190 meters, played the full game. 100 of those meters were post contact. Really, really strong. She's quite good. But the team as a whole missed 46 tackles, which you're not going to win many games playing like that. So I have no concerns with the Bulldogs. They have a good team. They'll probably be making finals. I guess we'll see where they make.
Yeah, it's a little trickier with the NRLW.
Yeah, they're sitting in 5th currently,
Yeah.
but they've like a billion teams on 2 wins. So it's hard to tell who's at this point in the season going to make finals. Past that, the Titans beat the Tigers in a game that was played.
Yeah, it wasn't
Of the
great.
season.
It was certainly one of the games of the season.
Yeah,
It wasn't great.
Best backflip of all time.
Jamie Chapman.
That was a good
It was
backflip.
good.
That was
It's one of the better executed ones I think I've ever seen.
Yes, it was. Round off into backflip. It was very, very good.
Very, very good. In the absence of the workhorse that is Georgia Hale, Sienna Lofipu was phenomenal playing lock. 35 tackles, 2 misses, 150 meters, 7 tackle breaks. She was excellent. The Titans, their game was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think they were anything great, but the Tigers just don't have much outside Lasana Lutu.
Yeah, it could be them versus the Canberra Raiders,
Which is unfortunate. I feel bad for Lasana Lutu. A hat-trick from Caitlin Turnbull. I would be remiss if I did not bring it up because hat-tricks are very
very often, yeah.
That's about it. Broncos Roosters was every bit the top of the table clash it was advertised to be. What a game.
This is right now probably premiership.
It was 5 tries apiece. So the
Kicking was
The goal kicking by Jocelyn Kelleher was the big difference there. 5 from 5, she nailed every single one.
Yeah.
She was great. Livia Koenig, There's Olivia Koenig. She's great. Isabel Kelly continues to do Isabel Kelly things.
Yeah.
There's just so many good players.
Well, the Roosters, yeah, they're the informed team of the competition. The Broncos will be the ones that I think
They'll be the ones-
probably the grand final.
I don't see many other teams challenging, to be fair.
Me neither.
Unless Newcastle can put something together, that'd be about it, I reckon. For Brisbane, Reece Bredra, again, such a strong performance from her. 49 tackles, 4 tackle breaks, 130 metres. She was great. Tamika Upton was good. Kerry Johnson was also great. They were so close. I'm not worried about them at all. It's the Broncos. They're still one of the premiership contenders. The Roosters just got over them in this one. I'm sure if they meet again, it could be a completely different story.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how close those two teams are.
Exactly. It's great to see so many high caliber players playing against each other.
And it's good to see the NRLW really starting to kick on.
I hope that more people get drawn in. It's good
It
competition.
actually is. It is. And they're so into it. They just love to play football.
Absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
You can see that.
They're great. And ending off the round, Newcastle pretty handedly beat the Warriors. There's not much here aside Jesse Southwell and Yasmin Clydesdale being their usual selves. They're just them. Michaela Brake, again, was really strong for the Warriors. 7 tackle breaks, 100 metres. Their middle defence is just a bit of a problem right now. There was a lot of metres and points scored in the middle third of the field.
Well, we've got to remember this was a team that came in, then went out. So they're rebuilding kind of. So they've just got to work their way into it. This year will be a bit of a learning curve, and then next year I'd say watch out. That would be my prediction.
Yeah. We know New Zealand teams love playing football. They'll have no shortage of players that want to be in it.
True.
So I'm very excited for at least the future of the Warriors.
Yes.
It's interesting, the Dally M count right now for them. They've got a 3-way tie for first between Isabel Kelly, Julia Robinson, and Rachel Pearson. So that will be quite interesting to follow as the season progresses. I don't think Isabel Kelly would be my favourite right now. I still think Tegan Berry deserves to be up there, but she doesn't get any points for some reason. I don't get what's going on there. It's weird. I don't know, man.
Dally M's always been a bit weird.
It's just true. Yes, the Dally M is always stupid. And then we move on to upset of the round.
Absolutely.
And what could turn into upset of the year? I did not give the Cowboys a single chance in this game.
After what Cronulla did last week.
And after what the Cowboys did.
There was an amazingly big. There was a turnaround from the Cowboys. Cronulla was still good.
Right. This was a really high quality.
Really colourful saves the game.
This was the Cowboys turning around from their Newcastle game.
Absolutely.
Because that was an embarrassment, and I think they were embarrassed.
Yes.
And they just turned it around, and the guts that they showed, when they went down by 2 points, they didn't give up. They just kept going.
The way they worked back into that game was so
Okay.
excellent.
Can I set the scene for something, right?
You're going to bring up the SA Barnard thing, aren't you?
Maybe. Alright. Sharks attacking, right? 13, I think, has the ball. Big woman by the name of S.A. Barner comes out and absolutely rattles them.
That would be the hit of the round, and hit of the year. So
It'll be up there. What a shot!
It was so clean, and all the girl on the ground could do was smile about it.
What do you do? What do you do? I think the big thing for the Cowboys in this game was the missed tackle count. They only missed 18. That's excellent. That's really, really
high-level defence.
Exactly. Like, it's the Sharks forward pack. They're formidable. They're a really, really good pack. And the Cowboys managed to at least contain them, which is all you can really hope to do.
Yeah, because they've got strike all over that.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I was very surprised by how quiet Ellie Johnston was kept in this game. I thought she was in for a massive game.
What was the Wheel Harden try celebration? I don't know what that was.
Oh, it was the people getting caught cheating at the Coldplay concert. That's what that was. That was brilliant.
That was so well done. And it sort of smacks of the
WWE one.
That was a good one. Or the TikTok thing with the guy on the front of the boat with the
the comedian one. That one was really good. I like that one.
Yeah.
For the Cowboys, Mackenzie Wheeler.
What a
game.
She was
so good, man. Picked up 6 LAM points, 50 minutes, a try, 150 metres, 24 tackles, only 2 misses. She was great. Lillian Yarrow is also quickly.
She's just solid.
She's great.
And she goes forward. She makes many post contact meters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's excellent. And look, I think it was S.A. Barnu's best game so far as well.
There were a few people that I thought had their best games of the year. Like I thought that what's her name? I'm just going to call her Double Dash because I keep forgetting. There's too many letters in it.
Mortal is one of the last ones.
That's right.
Yeah.
I thought she had her best game of the season. She was quite good.
And look, Tallulah coming in for
Cowboys team. That's the thing. Crystal Blackwell was playing out the back, and you had Tallulah playing out. Half the spine that's gone.
That's it.
And they still do this.
I thought Tallulah did a great job in attack. Her defense was a little bit so that when you've been out for a little while, that's going to be the case. But her attack was excellent. She set up that lovely double pump try.
Double.
Yes.
What do we think of the debutant winger Malupo? I thought she was strong.
She had good and some less good moments. Under the high ball, she was a little bit iffy.
I thought she got better as the game went.
Yeah.
Especially under the high ball. Like early on, she was definitely making a few not great errors, but she ended up taking some really, really important catches towards the end of this game.
Yeah, she's not bad for a debutante. She probably won't be in the team again this week coming once.
Who's named at number one?
The most important moment of this game, I think, is like 5 seconds left. The Sharks are attacking the line. What a phenomenal defensive play by Fran Goldthorpe. I cannot laud that play enough. That is.
Well, she called the knock on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Rushes up, cuts off the play. She absolutely played it perfectly. Yeah. That's so good.
And that, I think the Cowboys boys team could take a look at the girls and see how they're playing. Yeah, right. That's like Ricky Henry is
Exactly,
yeah. Anyway, look, the girls, 2 from 3. That's their best start yet. 2 from 3.
They've won 2 games from 3 games.
Okay.
For goodness sake.
Admittedly, it was funny because the commentator kept on saying the Cowboys are going 2 and 3.
No, they're not. They played 2 more games than the rest of the competition. That's so stupid.
But yeah, 2 and 1. That's their best start yet.
If you're a Sharks fan, I think you have to be a bit disappointed. The game was there to be won when they were up 14.
Yes.
They had all the ascendancy at that point.
They did. They couldn't put the nail in the coffin, and the Cowboys made it, which is good.
But then I thought Caroline Holmes was excellent.
Yes.
Really good. Georgia Rabbit is a phenomenal player. We know how good she is. Yeah. They just couldn't quite get there. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Oh, they will be.
Not concerned.
They'll come back next week and blitz whoever they play.
Right.
But yeah, no, that's the round of NRLW. Another good round of footy for the ladies. So well done, girls. Keep that up.
I don't want to run into the Tigers next week. That could be pretty scary.
That could be
We're up here. If we lose to the Raiders up here, I'm sad.
Let's hope so. We will get into that later. Men. Starting with probably the most nondescript game ever. This was boring. At least we can get it out of the way early. We don't have to build up Cowboys' disappointment the entire week. You're welcome. You didn't have to wait for this. You did. It's a Thursday night. You don't even have to be watching football. I knew this was happening. I'm pretty sure every Cowboys fan knows what's going to happen nearly going into every game. And it's not good. It's just bad. It's all bad.
We know when Purdy goes into the halves, it's going to be terrible.
At least they scored points this week.
Well, they did. They actually scored points very quickly again.
Yeah, they played 10 minutes of good football and then
they think they can win doing that. It's not how this game is.
What happened was, it came, and this is one thing I will agree with Peyton on. They had that good 10-minute patch where they scored 3 tries, and then a mistake happened. It was either Dearden knocking it on, or it was your friend, your mate, Neem. One of those when they had the momentum at that time, and that just killed their momentum.
I think it was Tommy.
And,
the mark of what a football team should be is being able to defend your mistakes. Yeah, the Cowboys have not been able to do that.
They can't defend non-mistakes.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just completely frustrating. They're such a mentally weak team. I think that's the big issue. It's just that as soon as something goes wrong, they're just, fight it in. Nothing's going to go right. They're like the biggest hypochondriac football team. And it's extremely frustrating. Also, I will say that I was right. That Lambert Polo edge was an absolute disaster. Yeah. I saw that coming from a mile away. This is why Rob Derby should never have been dropped, because at least his defense is good. Why is Zach Lambert here? I don't get why he's in the team.
He can score tries.
Back. Billy Army.
I don't know, man. I don't know when anybody's coming back anymore.
He used his nickname so I could sound more fancy.
Although it was, I was reading today that he could be back as early as next week. Also, 2 more people could be back next week as well.
Here's the thing, right? I know this is kind of going into next year, but I think we can kind of phone in this year for the Cowboys. There's a certain goateed centre who has not been re-signed by the Broncos.
No, I saw that. And he used to play up here. Get him back.
Maybe? I'm just saying.
You had Shibasaki out with Bailear in the centres, 2 big, massive bodies in the centres.
Compares you completely.
Get rid of him. He's useless.
He's not good.
Look, he's quite an attacker when it comes to defence.
That's the issue. We need to be watching a few of these contract situations really carefully because it's going to be very telling who gets re-signed is going to say who's gone. The fact that they haven't re-signed Clifford or Duffy yet tells me that Purdue is the 5/8 moving forward, and that really, really
that actually scares me heaps because
especially because they've seemingly missed out on Sandon Smith as well. That's a really, really big problem.
He has no passing game. He has no kicking game.
His running game is completely neutralized in the far end field.
That's it.
I don't know what he's supposed to do. Mate, look, the optimistic point of view is that you give him another preseason where he's exclusively training at half because he was kind of mixed with centre this preseason. If you give him a full preseason with Tom Dearden, with a few of these guys, maybe you can build some combinations and maybe he can actually mold his game into what a 5/8 is. But right now, it is not it. I'm sorry, you need to cut your losses.
You need to, even if Clifford doesn't get re-signed, play until the end. He's a better option.
He's not going to phone it in.
No, he loves this team.
He will play his heart out for this team because he doesn't want to be anywhere.
No, that's why he came back from England.
Exactly.
In fact, he wanted to renege on the Newcastle thing when Michael Morgan retired.
And now the club's going to piss him off to Canberra or whatever. I feel so bad for the guy.
I'm frustrated. He lives and breathes and bleeds Cowboys.
Tom Dearden, who I feel immensely sorry for. I don't think there's
If it wasn't for him, the Cowboys would be losing by a lot more.
If it wasn't for him, I don't think the Cowboys win a game. It is that bad. It's so frustrating. Like, he scores a try, runs nearly 200 meters as a halfback, 7 tackle breaks, 25 tackles with only 2 misses. He's so good. Look, I wasn't watching this game live because I was at work. I know you were. Yeah. Is there anything specific you think was wrong with the Cowboys in this game, or was it just I
don't know that. Look, I think, like you kind of said, their Cowboys left edge.
Yeah. Oh, right edge.
Right edge. Sorry, Paulo and Labour weren't great. There were a lot of line breaks down that side. There was, I think, one down the left-hand side in the second half, but generally it was down the right-hand side where all the line breaks occurred. Look, the Cowboys missed less tackles than the Dolphins, I think, in the end, but it was just the fact that they conceded a gazillion line breaks, which was the problem. And it was interesting. They went in at halftime, was it 24-6 down or something? Was it 30-6 down or something like that?
24-6.
24-6. And in the second half, at one point they were winning the second half pretty comfortably.
And they stopped.
And then they stopped because of a mistake. And then they couldn't get themselves back into the game because once that happened, that was it. That was all their scoring. That's all she wrote. Yeah. And it was mostly on the back of, I have to say, Scott Drinkwater.
Yeah, he's such a frustrating player, isn't he? Because
he's one of the best attacking fullbacks in the competition.
Oh, absolutely. He's just his defensive positioning is
reads are bad. Yeah,
yeah. I don't know.
I do feel for him though because when he's there trying to stop 2 or 3 Dolphins players when there's no other Cowboys around, it's going to look bad for him. But there's nothing you can do about it.
Right? I don't hold that against him. I hold his defensive positioning, especially on the goal line. Yeah. I don't know where he
tries to get involved in all the tackles everywhere. He can't do it. He's got to leave that up to people.
Big gripe that I have. I've never understood this revolution that teams have had where we have to have the fullback defending in the line on the goal line. I don't understand it because all you're doing is painting a big target saying "run here."
Yeah.
That's all you're doing by having someone of that stature there.
And because then you just go out, back, bang, score over to the left because he's stuck.
Exactly, because he's stuck at marker or whatever. It's. I've never understood that.
Yeah.
I don't get what the idea.
I mean, I guess they're trying to be 13 on 13, but instead of 12 on 13. But
supposed to be running around where the ball is and act as the extra defender when that time comes.
Yeah.
If you're having him in the middle of the field, you have no one to stop kicks. That's the big thing. Well, I'm surprised teams don't just grubber it in behind and score every other set. That feels like it should be.
He's not the only one because I've seen a lot of teams do the same thing. Reece Walsh is always in the line.
Walsh always does that. There's so many. Will Kennedy is always up in the line as well.
Look, the Cowboys were good for about 10 minutes, and then that was it. The Dolphins, they can score points fast.
Yeah.
Against most teams at this point.
When did Connolly Lemuelu become David Fafita? Like the good version?
Yeah, I know.
What the hell was that?
He's going well, right? He's excellent.
Well, they need him now.
Yeah.
Cather's out, so he just pumps out 270 meters and 2 try assists. And then
concede nearly 300 meters to a forward.
The Connolly Lemuelu.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's so frustrating.
Well, he had a couple of long runs.
Oh, yeah, he had a couple of really, really good breaks down that Cowboys right edge.
Look, I mean, Herbie
was great. Hammer was good.
Hammer was excellent.
He was really surprising. He's kind of emerged out of nowhere and just become this stalwart for them. He's become what Max Plath is supposed to be for them, and that's really good that they found that replacement.
And of course, their halfback, who is probably the best player in the competition at the moment.
You don't need to say anything about him. I'm going to cry.
If he isn't top 2 in Dally M voting come the end of the year, I'm going to riot. Because there is no reason he is the best player in the NRL right now.
At this point, yes, you can't argue that. Yeah, I don't think there's any player better.
Yeah.
But anyway, as far as the Cowboys go, their year is probably done now. I mean, they're mathematically
still in, but nothing that I've seen from the past 2 months of football makes me think they're going to magically become a competent football team. They're going to finish in the bottom 4.
They need to win 5 out of their last 6 games, plus the bye to get into the finals, probably. And
they have to beat everybody except Cronulla.
Yeah.
I mean, while
theoretically is possible, but
they do also run into Brisbane in that run, which could be a big problem.
So the Cronulla one is the one they're probably more likely to win.
Let's just hope the Cronulla have an off game. Right?
Well, there's some good things coming in the next couple of weeks for the Cowboys anyway. They get some big players back.
And then the Dolphins, they sit, I think, in 9th,
but they're so close.
They have 9 wins. That area, that dogfight for 5th to 8th is going to be so entertaining.
You know why they're in the best shape? They have the best for and against apart from Melbourne. Their for and against is so much better. I know. They were the fastest team in the competition.
They really, really remind me of the Cowboys from last season. That's what this team smacks of to me. When they're playing, when they have a roll on,
yeah.
But it should not be that difficult to try and get a hold on these guys. All you need to do is shut down the forwards and try and contain Herbie Farmer.
And you've seen teams that have good defense have been able to do that. Newcastle.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'm not putting them as like legit premiership contenders yet, but if they can scrape into the 8,
they could cause some havoc
and hit a hot streak. They could very easily make at least the prelim final.
That could cause some major.
I'm intrigued to see how they go.
It's
going to be interesting storylines.
I hope they make the finals.
I hope they do. I want an expansion team that's not named Melbourne to be successful because I'm sick of the Titans being terrible. Moving on,
Sharks and Chooks.
Sharks Roosters. This really didn't surprise me because I knew that the Roosters attack would be terrible because Chad Townsend was in this game.
Trent.
Gee, what a surprise.
Yeah.
I don't know what Trent was on when he picked that. Because Sandon Smith
Walker's first game back.
No, he's
second. It was his first game back that he got sent for 10.
Yeah, I think it's his second or third game. Yeah. He's getting better. He will get better. We know how good Sam Walker is. It's just, look, the Sharks, they beat an understrength team. They keep in touch with the top 4. That's all this was, though. However, in defense of the Roosters, losing Billy Smith 20 minutes in and having to play Egan Butcher out in the centres does not help.
No, and that's what sometimes can be the deciding factor, right? You have to shuffle your lineup. You have to then shuffle your your player swaps and whatever else.
Yeah, but Egan Butcher ordinarily would come on in the middle at some point. So And then without him, they're left with playing Celeste Fekete for a lot of minutes, which, Fekete's a good player, but he's not specialized in any position, I don't think. He's just kind of there and just tackles for a bit. That's all he does. He's not really exciting.
Look, they have some good players. Like I think you mentioned in your blurb, like it's Tupou.
I love Daniel Tupou so much. He's so good.
And he's so humble about it, right? He just goes about his job. He doesn't show off. He doesn't do anything like that. It's great to see somebody who just likes to play.
James Tedesco in this game.
Don't talk to
I think he's. I mean, I was listening to the fantasy amateurs, and they brought up the fact that he kind of spawned in for that try he scored. I don't remember him touching the ball again. I don't know what.
Oh, he did what a good fullback does, right? He backs up.
He was so quiet.
Yeah,
I didn't hear his name at all. Yeah. Nafahu White.
He's excellent.
He's still Nafahu White.
He's one of the best forwards in the competition at this point.
It's just, they completed at 65%, which is not good enough.
Crown weren't great. They were fine. They did what they had to do to beat under-strength Roosters team.
Yeah.
So, and like you say, it keeps them in the
dogfight for the fall.
Yeah.
So that's what's most important for them. For the Sharks, look, they lost Britt Nickera, like really early in this game. They lost Britt Nickera to a head knock, I think. But, they had Billy Burns to cover that, and Teague Wilton is still amazing. So,
and their form hooker of the competition at the moment, Blake Brayley,
is getting better. It's insane. I did not think he had this in him.
No.
I just thought
really coming back.
He's been so good, hasn't he? I love watching him.
I think his brother's going all right at Newcastle as well.
He's great when he gets the minutes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Adam O'Brien's a moron.
Yeah.
But Blake Brayley, 118 metres, 2 tries, 44 tackles, only 3 misses. He was great.
Adam O'Brien, he probably played Dane Gagai.
He's putting Dane Gagai. But back to this game, yes.
He didn't do anything overly spectacular.
He didn't do anything necessarily wrong, but he wasn't.
It didn't feel like there was much standout from Cronulla in this game outside Blake Brayley. He just seems to be the piece for them. If he goes down, they'd be in trouble. Because who's their backup hooker? Is it Jaden Beryl? Jaden Beryl. Maybe they'll chuck Dan Atkins there. I have no idea what they'd do.
And of course, they have a good run home too.
Their run home is so easy. They have such an easy draw. They might make the 4. They need a bit to go their way. They obviously need the Warriors to drop a couple, but they could do it. I'm intrigued to see where they end up finishing.
Well, basically, who gets into the 4 is dependent on the Warriors. So
exactly. It's all on the Warriors.
Yeah.
But I can't get a gauge on Cronulla. I really can't, because it feels like
they've been hot and cold a lot, right? They played some really good games. They've played some really poor games as well. So yeah. I mean, they've got one of the best forward packs in the competition.
One of the best rosters in the competition. Like, bar none.
Maybe the Broncos.
Maybe the Broncos. That would be it. Their roster is so good.
Melbourne's got a good roster to it,
though. They should be nowhere near, fighting to stay in the top 8. I don't know what's going on there.
I had them coming second.
So did I.
So
I had them coming 4th.
Yeah. It's so strange.
Close.
There's a good moment for Chris Va'ila to score on debut, as it seems want for Cronulla centres to do. It's great.
Well, when you score 31 points, you're going to have a good chance of getting it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm very, very intrigued. For the Roosters, I'm not overly concerned. Obviously now they're a win back from the teams fighting in the 8, so they do need to claw one back somewhere. But they're getting healthier. I assume Chad Townsend's not going to be in the team for hopefully the rest of the season. Then Hugo Kazar, I think, is a couple of weeks away. So he'll be back at some point. There's just so many permutations for whether this team can make the top 8 or not. They're really interesting. If they don't, they could definitely play spoiler for a few teams.
Absolutely. Look, the Roosters actually know how to play finals football.
Exactly. If they get there, they could definitely go on a run.
Yeah.
We know how Trent Robinson does in the finals.
He picks his team at the right time, right? So
I'm so
interesting.
This finals race is going to be so much fun. I don't think we've had one this interesting in a while.
The next game, unfortunately, wasn't very exciting.
It wasn't exciting at all. As soon as Latrell Mitchell got ruled out, I was just like, this is going to be not fun watching. And it wasn't, because the Rabbits can't attack.
No.
They really, really can't without Latrell Mitchell. They have nothing.
And
He's out
Cody
for
Walker.
and
Not
Cody
being
Walker's
there.
gone.
Yeah.
He's only played 8
I
games.
mean, Whiten will be the 5'8" from here on.
He's not good. He's not a good fighter.
He used to be really good at it at the Raiders.
Yeah, unfortunately, it got bred out of him.
Yeah, because he was in the centre too much. That's what happens, right? Yeah, unfortunately.
Look, like, that's the thing. They've been injured to hell and back this season. We know this. It's been very well documented. And then in this game, they lose possibly their only decent front rower in Keon Kalal-Matane.
One of the better front rowers in the competition, he said.
And their best hooker in Peter Martizels. Like,
he was an HIA.
This team is cursed.
Yeah.
There's no other explanation for how this continues to happen season after season.
They tried really, really
They play without heart.
No.
Like, they still play their hearts out. They just don't have the capital to be competitive.
I thought the big winger was quite good.
Monroe?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. I like Ty Monroe.
He did quite well, but yeah, they didn't have a lot.
Unfortunately, Jamie Humphries can only do so much.
And look, Jai Arrow was fine. I thought he had a relatively good game.
He's pretty strong.
Yeah.
He's flying under the radar. He's been kind of like, you know, Grant Anderson's been like the outside backs glue for Melbourne. I feel like that's what he's been for this forward pack.
He's been quite good. I've actually enjoyed watching him play, even though he's a bit of a grub at times. I've enjoyed watching him play.
He's a Queenslander. What can you do? And
most Queenslanders aren't. But anyway, we won't go there.
In the centres, I thought he had quite a strong game too. That's not really. Although he's kind of split his entire career between playing edge and centre, so he's not at home in either of those positions. But it's just South. They're injured. There's not much you can do.
And I guess, look, even Penrith without their number 1 and 2 player, both captains, right?
They were still very,
very
good. They were very, very strong.
Well, they'll make it look stronger because South was struggling, right?
However, holy crap, what a game from Dylan Edwards. He was phenomenal. Like, he seems to...
This captaincy is good on... It's great for him, apparently, yeah.
This is what Penrith have been missing this entire season. Because they've kind of been doing this thing where everyone was a bit tired, like they've been at the top for so long, and you didn't have people step up when players were out. Like, because they've been missing a few of their star players for a lot of this season. But Dylan Edwards has kind of been there for most of it. Like, he's been pretty quiet this season, I thought, by his standards.
Yes, I actually agree, but the last few weeks he's
really kicked on.
Yeah.
Especially in the absence of Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo, they needed him to step up, and boy, did he. 300 metres, 11 tackle breaks, 5 from 5 kicking, scored 2 tries. What a game. He was great. I hate to say this, but I thought Casey McLean was really good. I don't like him.
Even bad players have good games.
Yeah. Tom Jenkins was great. I really like Tom Jenkins. He's fun to watch. It's that side of the field, that had been a problem for them earlier this season. It seems to really be working now. And that's all you can hope for. Scott Sorensen, Luke Garner, they were both great as well. They had 200 run meters and 90 tackles between them. Super, super strong. They've got an okay run home, but they have Storm Raiders and Dogs in there. So that will be the real test of where this team is at.
If they're going to be contenders, they need to win those games, or at least 2 out of them.
They need to win a couple of those games.
If they don't win any of them, that'll show that they're probably not good up to speed.
I
don't want to actually drop them out of the race for the top 4.
They need a lot to go their way to make the top
4. Well, they're 2.5 games behind the Warriors, so the Warriors need to really fall through the floor.
There would have been so many teams watching Sunday's final game and being super happy for most of it, and then for the last 5 seconds crying.
Yes,
because, man, we'll get into that. But
Raiders are
much what I expected.
Yeah,
this was close for a bit, though. I will say, Parramatta took it to them in the first half.
Parramatta have played with a lot of heart.
Oh yeah,
all year they've played with a lot of heart. They just haven't had any polish. Because their main manager has been out for most of the year.
Yeah, well, one of them's been hurt, the other has phoned it in because he's moving to Newcastle.
I don't think he's phoned it in. I think the coach
has phoned it in. Fair, but even when Dylan Brown was playing, he wasn't offering much.
Yeah, unlike last year when he was by himself, he was actually stepping up and playing very, very good.
Yeah, it's just it's this game. Look, I'll give credit to Parramatta. They played good for 40 minutes. I thought Zach Lomax was excellent in this game. Charlie Guymer's great. I like Charlie Guymer. He's fun. But it's just, what can you do? They don't really have the cattle right now. And there's so much personnel weirdness happening in the team right now. Nothing's really been able to stick.
I read that right. Tarpany only played 48 minutes, but still ran 200 meters.
You are reading that exactly.
What the hell?
That's Joe Thomas. He's so good.
That's Tamalolo-esque, that stuff.
Exactly.
Like prime Tamalolo.
Thing. Like, this is what Ricky Stewart's doing. He's managing the minutes of some of these older forwards and getting them ready for a big push in the finals. Because if he wears them out now, the minor premiership's going to be for naught. I get what he's doing here. Atamatiota was brilliant off the bench. I thought he was excellent.
Canberra are a well-oiled machine at the moment. They deserve their favouritism.
I did not think they would be this good. I really didn't think they'd be this good.
They have really, if you go on some of the young guys who've come through, Kyle Weeks.
Season from Kyle Weeks, hey. I mean, he kind of feels like a more consistent version of some of these like gunslinging fullbacks, like the Drinkwaters and the Walsh and these sorts of guys. He seems to have a higher floor than those guys, and that's working really well, especially when you have like Ethan Strange, who's been excellent this season.
And Kyle Weeks is like sneakily quick.
Oh, he's not sneakily quick. He's fast. He is fast.
Very, very, very quick.
The thing with that Xavier Savage, he is quick.
He'd be my Smoky. He'd be my Smoky for fastest man in the league, I reckon. He is so quick. They just look. The Raiders, I think, took a little bit to get going because they were on the bye last week. They did that again. They did that when they came off their first bye later on. They weren't great.
That's generally how it works.
Exactly.
Into a game again.
But in the second half, they just they just
Parramatta would have got tired. They would have all that effort in the first half.
Exactly, and I think that shows in the fact that the Raiders had 8 line breaks and 32 more tackle breaks than Parramatta did in that second half. It was pretty just insane.
That's pretty good. 65%.
It's moving on next season for the Eels.
Yeah, they're not making the 8.
Raiders just need to keep their cushion against Melbourne for the minor premiership. That's all they need to be doing right now, and they did that here.
Yeah, they did.
Bulldogs, Dragons. Oh, that's gonna suck.
I am starting to fall off my thoughts of the Dogs being actual contenders for the top spot this year.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about the Bulldogs. Because, look, the easy thing to say is they've revamped the spine halfway through the season, and that is going to not be good for a while. If Lockie Galvin can be acclimatized before the finals, they'll be fine. That's a big if, though.
I kind of feel sorry for...
I feel so bad for Toby Sexton. He did nothing wrong. I thought he was great this year.
Apparently he's killing it in the New South Wales Cup, which of course we expect him to because he's an NRL level player playing in the competition he shouldn't be playing in.
This the entire back half of this game happened because Luciano Leilua couldn't keep track of his stupid feet.
Yes. And that was a point of contention a little bit. Shane Flanagan, he was wrong with that.
If you're moving your feet back into the ruck, the onus is on you to keep it away from the play of the ball. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Even though he wasn't looking, he did put his foot forward and that bumped the ball, right? So that's what happened.
Yeah. Conscious of where your body parts
are. That was his fault.
Man, I feel bad for the Dragons because they were good in this game. Yeah. They were quite good. I was quite impressed.
And the Dogs were below par. I don't think they were
exactly.
I think they might have peaked a bit early, and now they're coming back.
Possible. Backwards. I think I brought that up a few weeks ago. It's like, they're playing like hell, like playing really well, but it could drop off at some point. And I think that might be
a few weeks in a row where, like, they, with a bit of luck for the Cowboys, the Bulldogs could have lost that game.
Yeah, the Bulldogs have had a few really close calls recently.
Yeah.
It's quite odd to see for a team that was so good.
Yeah.
Like they were well beaten.
Although there was a little bit of like I said, the fool's gold there because remember they had all their buys done and Canberra didn't have any. And
yeah, that's true.
They were still nearly on the same point.
Yeah.
So
just
I
feel like the big thing that I've noticed with the Bulldogs' attack with Lockie Galvin in there is that right edge kind of seems to be nullified a bit because it feels like, especially Jacob Carraz and Jacob Preston don't seem to be nearly as involved now. I don't know what's
Well,
going
that's
on.
really good because Carras is one of the best wingers in the competition.
He should be touching the ball once or twice a set because all he does is run gain 12 meters and then offload.
Yeah, I know.
And that should be like the thing that they do, but he barely touches the ball now. And at least no amount of Lockie Galvin can neutralize Stephen Crichton. He's great. He's really, really good.
He's still premier centre, and he's one of the best captains in the competition. So
he's got a big task for him, I think, to try and keep this team.
Yeah, he needs to keep
all the stuff that's going on. I still don't think Lachlan Gowan's a good fit for this team. I think having a pure 7 works better for them, which is why Toby Sexton was so good.
He's a 6, isn't he?
Yeah, he was a 6 at the Tigers. Yeah, so I don't know.
It was a good pass, though.
It was a good pass. But the entire media cycle is going to be about that pass. When for 79 minutes and 55 seconds, he was not very good.
No.
I didn't think he was good in this game at all.
No. He had one good moment. He's going to be like a Latrell Mitchell or a Rick Walsh where he gets lauded, and then doesn't quite go up to where they expect it to be.
Conveniently ignore
when they make the swipe so bad.
Look, they completed at 81%. They ran 200 more meters. They look
arguably the better team, but
arguably it was very, very close. I don't think they're playing like a team in second. No. In fact, they are sitting in second. They're playing like a team in 6th.
Yeah.
So
I actually agree. I think they need to. That they're getting the collie wobbles, as old people like to say, and
they need to get it together before that. They're still playing like this.
They'll be
barely scraping at the top 4, and they could be straight sets out.
They could be straight sets out pretty comfortably.
So they need to fix it quickly.
They do, because I mean they were out straight up last year in the finals as well. But they fell over towards the end, and they're doing it again.
Yeah.
You know, their last year, their last 2 preseason,
their last regular season games, flogged. Yeah. So their defense fell apart.
Yeah,
I think, but now it's the attack that's not going well.
What happens when you match with the spine, which was absolutely destroying teams earlier on in the year. Yeah, I know.
Dragons. I mean, it sucks, but you gotta take solace in the fact that they were very competitive.
Yeah.
They were great. I thought Clint Gutherson had a very, very good game here. Moses Staley was excellent.
I like Staley. I actually rate him.
I still think his defense needs a bit of work. But
he like to be run out by that.
He's a centre, but he runs with the mindset of a front row.
That's the problem.
Exactly. And Jaden Sewer, he's great.
Yeah, he's
really, really picked up the past few weeks. I'm happy to see him playing well again.
He's a
Queenslander, right?
He is a Queenslander. He's played Origin before. I still don't think Kyle Flanagan is a top grade halfback. I really don't. I think they lost Sione for now with 25 minutes left, so that edge was a little bit weak. So this game, I think, said a bit more about the Bulldogs than it did about the Dragons.
The Dragons tried really, really hard. The Bulldogs, they, like we say, need to turn it around. Otherwise, they're going to be out pretty quick.
Galvin, I think, killed Matt Burton. He's just a kick machine now. He barely does anything in attack now. It's really, really weird. It's all about
he runs fairly hard. I mean, he's a big body, but yeah.
But for a guy his size, he should not be making 10 tackles and missing 3.
No, that's true.
That's not good enough for a guy.
I've always thought his defense has been his weak point. Look, he's got the biggest boot in the comp. That's pretty comfortable.
Absolutely. But you can't ignore all the other passes.
That's true. And I think you're right. I think Lachlan Galvin has started the slide.
Well, they have to justify it, right? They have to justify bringing him in mid-season, so everything is going to be going through him from now on.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, it was fun to watch. It was exciting at the end.
Yes.
But yeah, if you're a Dragons fan, it sort of sucked.
Speaking of games that were exciting at the end, Manly.
For the wrong reasons.
Ooh, this was an interesting one. Look, the entire media cycle this week is going to be, the last 2 minutes of this game were fast. There was 78 minutes of really good football before that one happened. So I want to talk about that first.
Can we talk about the guy they call X?
Xavier Coates. Holy crap, he was good in this game. He was so good.
He was the one dragging Melbourne into this game.
Yes, exactly. He did everything.
He was incredible.
He scored all 3 of their tries.
Yeah.
And 2 of them were phenomenal.
No, he's just an impressive.
I love watching him play
impressive football player.
He's so good. Ran for over 200 meters, 2 line breaks.
He's kidding about animals, He's not scared about jumping 5 meters in the air.
Yeah, because jumping 5 meters in the air isn't going to kill you with venom.
And helps you jump away from it.
It helps you jump away from it.
You can still kill you if you land on your
If I see a snake on the ground, I'd be like, woohoo!
Yeah,
Jump onto a tree.
learn how to jump very quickly.
Perfect. But yeah, Melbourne. What do we say about Melbourne? There were 2 moments in this game that cost them.
They were ripped off.
They were not ripped off.
Yeah, they were ripped off.
By the letter of the law and how that law has been enforced,
That rule is the dumbest rule I've ever seen.
It's a really bad.
I disagree.
Look, the rule states about putting somebody in a dangerous position. Not one thing about that was putting anybody in a dangerous position.
I think for ones like that, it's
Luke Brooks wasn't even limping until they did the flipping captain's challenge. You know, it's a big have. This was, and I was listening to the ABC radio because I picked up my daughter from work, and the commentators there said this was just a shot at the stumps to see what would happen. That's all he had left. Jake had a shot at the stumps, as he would, and got the penalty out of it. Not the way for a game like that to end. I'm sorry. Yeah. Not the way for a game like that to end. It shouldn't have ended on a penalty kick.
Look, I agree with that. It always sucks when a game ends like that. But discipline is still important in football.
Yeah,
but you're going to do
nobody's going out there to injure the kicker. Right? Nobody is going out there to do that.
No one's going out there to injure anybody. It just happens.
Is he supposed to phase through Luke Brooks' leg? What's he supposed to do?
Well, the entire thing is it's protecting the kicker's legs. It's not protecting the kicker.
Yeah, so the kickers are now leaving their legs out longer than they would normally do.
So then what you do is you go at the kicker's body or you go out where the ball is. Going at
where do you think the ball is?
In front of the kicker.
Yeah, but if you're running towards the kicker, there's going to be a chance that you bump into them.
Well, okay. Well, then what you do is 4 charge downs. If you can do that, you don't run at them from the side. You run at them dead on, because I don't care how weird your kicking motion is. You're not going to run to the side of someone's leg when the bottom of their boot is facing you. That has to be the adjustment that players make to try and prevent this stuff. And I agree with the rule being in place, because last year we had 2 people who had their legs broken by that exact style of pressure, that exact style of kick pressure. It was Ronald Volkman and Lachlan Ilias. Both of them broke their legs in New South Wales Cup because of this stuff. So I agree with the penalty being in place. I think it's up to players to adjust how they put pressure on the kicker. Either go at the body or at where the ball is.
Then they need to reword the rule, because it's talking about putting a kicker in dangerous position. Like I said, nothing about that was dangerous. And it happened, look, it happened to Jerome Hughes earlier on in the game. Nothing was even thought of. And the referee did not even bother it, and he was watching.
That's the thing. It's in the other 78 minutes of the game. That's not a penalty. That's the problem. I agree with that criticism.
You know, if you're going to call it every single time, or don't call it at all.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that.
And because it did happen to Hughes earlier on in the game, at least once, possibly more, and nothing was said, nothing was done. There was no looking back from anybody, or there was no stoppage in play, right? Because you've got to get a stoppage in play.
I will say, if Jerome Hughes thinks he's had that done, he will ask for a challenge, because that is just who Jerome Hughes is. He's a whinger.
I'm not so sure about that. He might be a Melbourne Storm player, but he's also a Kiwi, and they don't do that very much.
You're in for it.
He doesn't whinge that much. He just yells a lot, and I'm not sure if it makes a lot of coherent sense.
I understand people disagreeing with the penalty. I think it's fair, but I think the bigger thing is this shouldn't have mattered, because Nelson Solomona shouldn't be playing MMA in the middle of the game. That was idiotic. He has a propensity for this. He is a grub.
Oh, look.
He's done this before.
Excuse me, but one just as bad as that happened in the Origin, and the guy didn't get any weeks off.
Why didn't get anything?
So then it's not fair that Nelson gets it in a club game when it wasn't done in the Origin.
Well, then isn't...
And it was worse in the Origin, because it knocked the guy out just about.
But then the corollary you have to think is, why is it the Nelson one that's not fair? Why isn't it the one in Origin that's not fair then? Because, do you think people should be going around elbowing people in the face?
Well, he wasn't trying to elbow somebody in the face. He was trying to get up. And sometimes your arms flail a bit.
I'm sorry, it looked far too deliberate for me to believe that.
He wasn't even looking at him.
So you know where the play's
Not necessarily.
Wasn't looking at the guy when he elbowed him. What's your point?
It's not necessarily that you know where they are. That's what I'm saying. If that one's a 2-week suspension, and Lomax should have got 2 weeks as well.
I completely agree with that.
And he didn't even get anything. I don't even think he got a fine.
I feel we should be criticising the match review committee and the referees for the Lomax one and not this one. Because I find no difference between chucking an elbow at someone and throwing a punch. I think that's the same thing.
I don't believe Nelson tried to. Yeah, elbows can be worse. I don't believe Nelson tried to get him. It was one of those. It was a bit like when who was it that kicked Muzz in the face?
Oh, was it Xavier Coates? No, it was. I don't know who it was, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, no, it was not even Ilakawatu.
Yes, that's all right.
And he kicked out, arguably more dangerous with your feet, especially since you can actually cut people to shreds with those cleats you got on.
Yeah.
I don't even think he got weeks for that. So I'm sorry, but the match review committee aren't consistent.
Absolutely not. I completely agree with that.
And it's wrong.
But that does not mean we need to absolve the players of any responsibility for what they do in game. Because if you're going to do that, you're just giving them carte blanche to do whatever, and the match review committee is not going to do anything about it.
I think a fine probably would have been enough. 2 weeks, I don't believe is right.
Unfortunately, Nelson has this thing where he does a lot of stupid stuff.
Has he done it this year?
He did it earlier in the year, didn't he? It cost them against the Raiders, didn't it? He did something similar.
I don't remember. I know that he was out at the end of last year.
That was Trent Loiero.
Oh, you're right. It was Trent Loiero, sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
But I feel like, unfortunately, Nelson, the situation surrounding Nelson Sotsomo when he does all this stuff kind of reminds me of what happens with Victor Radley.
Yeah.
Because,
but that's not right either, because what Victor does is bad.
I completely agree with you. But it smacks of people thinking, oh, well, he has a propensity to do this. It must have been intentional, slap him with 2 weeks. So I would have been fine with 1 week. I think 2 is a bit much. But I do think it was a deserved penalty.
That one, yeah, I understand the penalty.
It's a dumb penalty.
It should have been a penalty, but I still don't believe the one that gave Manly the victory in the end was warranted. That's just my take on it. And I'm sure everybody's got a different take on that, but that's just my take on it. Because once again, Brooks, once the penalty has been taken, he's walking away, not limping again. Yeah. So that's what gets me. Players are turning into LeBron James.
Unfortunately for us,
turning into floppers, turning into whatever.
Unfortunately for as long as there are penalties in sports, there will be people who try and abuse that. That is just how sports works because players are intelligent enough to do that.
Intelligent enough or nasty enough?
I know it doesn't make for a good viewing experience, but until you can find the perfect way to officiate this stuff, which does not exist.
You know, a lot of people are switching off because they're getting sick of the inconsistency with refereeing, they're getting sick of the inconsistencies with the bunker, they're getting sick of inconsistencies with the match review committee.
Exactly.
So people are turning off. The NRL needs to fix this.
Absolutely.
This is a problem.
And we've talked about this multiple times. The fact that they've asked people to not bag the referees and not bag anything to do with
this BS, just saying.
They have given up trying to fix them because they have no clue what to do. And that is sad.
All they'll do is they'll tell the players on the field, I'm sorry, I'm not perfect.
No.
You don't have to be perfect. You have to be consistent.
You should, if you're a referee, you should be forced to justify on field why you made a call you did. If you can't, players have to assume that you just have it out for them.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really, really bad for the game in the future.
And what happens is that there is that happens, right? Teams higher up get biased with the green.
Absolutely.
Which is wrong.
It's wrong. But unfortunately, I think that's just a function of the human brain.
Well, the human brain, I'm pretty sure, is stupid.
Yes, it is. I agree.
Okay, anyway, moving on. We've been stuck on that for a little while. Melbourne lost. Manly won. First time in Melbourne for since 2019 or something. Yeah, so
a few years for that. So good for them. Good for Manly.
And look, Manly are turning into a bit of a dark horse in the competition.
Oh yeah.
So
tell you what, this move for Tom Trbojevic has worked better than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah. He was getting injured too much at fullback. Yeah.
He's basically playing fullback, but without the standing at the back waiting for kicks now.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
No, it's working for them. And look, I dislike Manly, but there is no doubting that they played very well in this game. Probably were the better team overall, but once again, the way they won still leaves a sour taste, I'm sure, with not just me.
That's fair. It always feels like that when a team wins on a penalty like that. That always happens. Whether it's correct or not, it always happens. There's always going to be people who disagree, saying, "Oh, you don't make that call. Put the whistle away." If a penalty is a penalty, you call it.
I just remember the 2015 grand final when Thurston finally kicked his field goal. Nobody was back 10 metres.
Yes.
They all stopped at the 6 metre mark and turned around.
Was there a finals game like a few years ago between the Storm and the Roosters that ended with a penalty like that? I distinctly remember that being a thing. Oh, it was an offside penalty, I think, because someone put their hand into the dummy half roll with on the stroke of, I think, the 85th minute. So that was and that one got a lot of people very angry. It just happens when it costs a team a game like that. And unfortunately, all the vitriol gets directed at the referees for making the correct call, as opposed to the players for making the stupid decision. That's what frustrates me.
Yeah, but that's a really tough one. The timing has to be 100% accurate, right? But I think that's where the referees can sometimes get it wrong, because sometimes the dummy half has the ball in his hands, and at that point, you can make a play out of it.
As soon as the ball rolls back.
Yeah, that's it, because you can actually dive in if the dummy half isn't there. And so hitting the arm of the person trying to pass the ball should not be instantly, you must be offside penalty.
Yeah.
The guy getting to the ball might have just been slow.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I'd like to send my eulogy and condolences to the Roosters next week.
Oh,
you are going to get thrashed, and you probably have to like it.
However, I will say this: Melbourne have been weird this year.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's something weird happening down there because they've not been this invincible colossus that we always fear them to be.
Yeah, they're still in third.
Yeah, they're still in third. That's because the league as a whole this year is really, really bad.
Yeah,
but it's the entire season they've been okay, win against a crap team, win in a very unconvincing way, and then lose when they shouldn't. That's been their entire season's just been that cycle. And unfortunately, I think this game against Manly was a long time coming because they've been on a streak of not really winning games very convincingly.
Yeah, they just beat the Cowboys, who were going like bastards.
The Cowboys, I think, if I remember correctly, they barely beat the Titans and all that.
Yeah,
and then they do this, and then they'll play great for a couple of weeks, and then they'll be mediocre again, and then they'll lose. When that next loss comes is really, really important. Because if it doesn't happen before finals, they could be out very quickly. So I am intrigued to see how
Billy needs to get them up.
He needs to get a rocket up them because this has been happening too much now. They are missing Pappenhausen.
Yes,
and we'll give them that.
The second round is still the best second round.
They still have a great. It's just,
I mean, if they turn around against the Roosters are going to get 40 on them, and it's too bad and so sad.
I think 40's being a bit generous.
I'm also going to give my condolences to Harry Grant because I feel so bad about what this week is going to do to him. Craig is going to unload. Yes, exactly.
Cool, Tigers and Titans. What a wonderful game this was.
What a Sunday. Oh, this was a stupid Sunday of football.
This was the dumbest game of football ever.
I don't think I've ever seen a good game between these two teams. I've seen multiple close games. None of them have been good.
It was bad.
It was
terrible.
So bad to watch. I mean,
the only good part about it was the aftermath when Des was pulling God down to go.
That was brilliant. That's one of my favorite things.
Get the F out here.
No. Des is probably going to be going after next week, I reckon. That will be one of my favorite Des moments of all time. It's right up there with pulling the door off a tinge. That was so funny.
This was a bad game of football.
Look, the Titans were kind of screwed as soon as Tino went down.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
It doesn't help at all. I don't want to play Jamin Jolla for 60 minutes. Who would want to play Jamin Jolla for 60 minutes?
Bench forward playing 60 minutes.
I think he started this week.
18 minutes.
Whoa.
Massive.
18 minutes, 2 runs.
5 tackles.
Whoa.
How many
How good. Who's he
13 meters.
Who is he going to play for next year? Because it's not going to be at the Gold Coast. David Fafita.
The Dolphins. Watch this space.
Oh, no, that would be terrible. I hope he goes to the Roosters.
I hope he goes to the Tigers. That'd be fine.
Go join Kaipia's Paul as the best second rower pairing that's not going to do anything.
Go back to Brisbane.
Well, he could, I suppose, but they won't
Could use a second rower. Although Piakura is good, and I don't think they're going to drop Ricky, so I don't know.
I know you don't like Taylor May, but he was actually very, very good in this game. He broke tackles just for fun, I think. You know, it was like, yeah.
He was matched up against. Who's the centre on that side? Is it Brian Kelly?
Yeah. Kelly had a bad game. No, he's a good attacker, but yeah.
But to be fair, it was equal tries. Actually, no. The Tigers, I think, scored more tries. Yeah, it was 4 tries to 3. Jaden Campbell, learn to kick, you dunce. Did we not learn from Origin? How did everyone watch Origin 2 and think, should work on goal kicking? No, we're not going to work on goal kicking. Why would you do that? My word. Jaden Campbell, learn to kick.
Go the Tigers, I suppose, although that put them ahead of the Cowboys. So.
No, I hate the Tigers.
Yeah.
We're going to beat the Titans. The Titans continue to be terrible. I'm never tipping them ever again for the rest of their 5 years of existence before they're dissolved because they keep losing too much money. How does this team still exist? Stand it. I don't understand how.
One decent game every 7 years. One decent year.
Exactly what it is. They lost by 1. They had 45% of the ball. They only completed 72%. They missed 18 more tackles, conceded 4 more line breaks, and conceded 5 more penalties. The fact they only lost by 1 is impressive. And they should have won when they were up by 8 with 5 minutes left.
Yes. But the Tigers have this propensity to come back in the last 5 minutes of football.
Adam Dewey, you suck.
All right, Adam Dewey.
Adam and I both picked Titans. We were both hugging each other in the final 5 minutes,
just
hoping and praying that they could hold on.
I
took the Tigers to say.
Yeah, I know you did.
No one cares.
For the Titans, I thought AJ Brimson was really good.
He was excellent, actually.
Back 5, I thought was okay. I thought Philip Sammy was really strong.
Jack Campbell wasn't good.
He's in the back 7. It's different.
He's still the back.
It's just frustrating, man. Look, losing Tino didn't help them, especially late in the game, I think.
Yeah.
But there's no excuse for this.
Losing an 8-point lead
in 5 minutes.
And losing, yeah, that's not great.
It's just.
But the Tigers, if we do something with the Tigers, they're very good at ad-lib football. Because Benji Marshall.
Like I keep saying, they always win. Like, all their wins come when they have double-digit offloads. Their second phase play is really, really strong.
Yeah.
They should be doing it more. However, there was a knock-on by Jerome Luai that was not called that led directly to a Tigers try. The Titans were robbed. I'm saying that now. They were robbed, and I'm mad about it.
It's going to happen to many teams this year.
Yes, this is true. You brought up Taylor May for the Tigers. Yeah, he was really
Terrell, his brother, was also very
great. We love Terrell May. He's awesome.
Terrell.
Adam Game. What the? Dewey playing his
game.
He's his new player for the Tigers.
Adam Dewey playing his first game at lock. I thought he was solid.
I thought he was solid.
About 60 minutes, 32 tackles, the game-winning field goal. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, he's got a good boot.
Funnily enough, the biggest concern I think with the Tigers wasn't on field; it was off the field. When we saw Dream Buller sitting with the Bulldogs members-only section at their game.
Oh.
Great.
Is that a fullback?
No, they have Connor Tracy. This is the Bulldogs' problem. They keep trying to shoehorn in the best punter available, but it doesn't fit their scheme at all.
Yeah.
No, for Connor Tracy to go play for frickin' St. Helens or something stupid.
He's going to replace that, what?
Look, for the Tigers, the season isn't technically lost. I mean, they're on 7 wins now. They're now in front of that weird 6-win cluster, and they're only 1 game behind the Roosters. So while they're technically not out of it, they need a lot to go their way.
Yeah.
They need a lot to go their way.
It'd be unlikely for them to get there. My 11th looks pretty good at the moment for the Tigers.
I think it's 10th or something.
And for the Titans, please at least win 1 game so we can have at least somewhat interesting spoon bowl. Titans suck.
You are really bad. Anyway, sorry, Titans fans, all 7 of you.
All right, so that was one half. That was one half of Stupid Sunday.
Yeah.
Then we move to the second half of Stupid Sunday. I still haven't processed this game.
It was such a good game of football.
It's a game of football. It was a bad game of football that ended in a good way. You are wrong, sir. Okay, look. We'll talk about the ending of this game at the end. This game was 3 tries apiece, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
was the problem.
Yeah, the Knights didn't kick a single conversion. They kicked a penalty goal. Woo! They only did one thing.
And a field goal.
They kick all their goals. That's what? 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
They win.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely because of that.
To be fair,
Absolutely not terrible.
to be fair, had Tanner Boyd learned how to kick a little bit, like
We wouldn't even
dead
be
in front,
we wouldn't even be talking about this. But yeah,
No.
that's true.
At least,
I'm very proud. If I think the Newcastle were in the shot of this game, I could have improved more. I was very close. But yes, their defense is so good. Newcastle's defense is so good. It's going to keep them in games.
Yeah, and it's not scoring enough points.
No, that's
And
the
that's the problem.
thing.
They're still the lowest. I think they're still the lowest.
I think they are still the worst attacking team right now. Although I wonder when the Titans are going to hit their for and against. Never mind. The Rabbit. Okay, so the Knights have scored 266 points this season. The next closest team is the Eels, who have scored 47 more points. So yeah, Newcastle are going to probably finish with the worst attack.
I'll leave it.
Okay. For Newcastle, I thought they were good. They completed 80%, 3 more line breaks. They missed 6 less tackles. They were making 3 more meters per set. They were leading for 55 minutes of this game. They deserved to win, in my opinion.
I know the Warriors happened.
Yeah, one Warrior happened, but we'll keep going with players from Newcastle. Kyle Paul continues to be amazing.
He's excellent.
He's ripped.
He's gone really,
I knew it would take a season for him to kind of like, gel into what Australian rugby league is.
Because that's becoming more like Canberra now with all the British people.
They've got like 2.
Yeah.
They've got Kai Paul. They've got Jackson Hastings.
Is he British?
Like young.
Dom Young. Oh yeah, he's back. Yeah, maybe they're the new Raiders. Hopefully that doesn't mean they're going to make the minor premiership next year.
Very much. That's good kind of thing.
But speaking of Jackson Hastings, I think he's been quite good when since he's been in.
He's came on.
You know what I mean? He's been good since he's got back into the side. I feel like they're a better team when he is there, which is sad because they don't want him there. It's funny. Jermaine McEwen being called in for Brodie Jones, churning out, I think, 80 minutes. He was quite strong. He was good. And Dan Gagai is still impressing me at fullback.
He's 34.
I keep saying he's exactly like when Jordan Raffner was playing fullback. It's exactly
he has what we would call the funniest moment. That face he pulled after his
after the Greg Marshew thing where he was definitely tackled.
He is good.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, Greg Marshew was definitely.
Yeah, he was tackled. And when we went down the field, never to be called a tackle.
Yeah.
We called passed off the ground.
Yeah. Bad for Newcastle. That was great. They were great for most of this game. And then like a Halasima happened.
Yeah.
Which probably saved Tanner Boyd's blushes a lot.
It probably saved Tanner Boyd's job. Right. Because, man...
one missed field goal, one missed goal from dead in front.
And a touchdown field goal.
Touchdown field goal.
Yeah, by Hastings. It was just one with the guy behind him.
Yeah, the Tanner Boyd owes him several hundred beers.
Yeah.
Oh,
you might not.
Man, what a moment.
I was having
what a moment to end the round.
I will go out on a limb and say if it had been anybody else that picks up that ball, they don't score.
The amount of work that he had to do was insane.
Remember when we said it wasn't over till it's over? We were right.
Okay, yes. Yes.
I was going to say that I tipped the Warriors.
So did I, eventually, despite tipping a draw, but I can't tip a draw on actual tipping apps. So.
Go the Wars. They remain in 4th position.
Yeah.
I keep defying the odds.
Brisbane and Cronulla would have been so pissed at Newcastle right now. If the Warriors end up losing this game, they're one game inside the top 4. They've got a couple of people nipping at their heels. But now, they've got a 2-game cushion. It's looking a little bit more promising for them.
They'll stay in the top 8. They're not going to drop out of the top 8.
I'm concerned about their what their ceiling is now with Tanner Boyd, though, because I don't think they're
losing a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, Tanner Boyd's kicking game is great.
Yeah, he's got one of the bigger kicks
for 75 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
but
I think you could see he was so nervous.
I think he nearly passed out taking that penalty goal. Well, the game he's only 24.
And look, I think that game will probably help, even though he stuffed up a couple of kicks. I think it'll probably help him a little bit. He'll probably, learn from it and do better next time.
Oh, for the Warriors' sake, I hope he does, because I actually like Tanner Boyd. I think he's a good player.
I do too. And Aaron Clark does Aaron Clark things.
Roger Tuivasa-Sheck was so good in this game.
He's coming back to his form. I thought James Fisher-Harris was strong.
I keep talking about his metric right now every week because he's amazing.
Yeah.
Look, I want it known that I still think the Warriors are frauds. But they keep finding new and stupid ways to win, and that's worked for the Raiders this year, so why not?
Frauds.
I think they're frauds.
They're not frauds.
They're like the Bulldogs.
They're not frauds.
I think they're going better than the Bulldogs at the moment.
At least they have a cancer on their team.
Yeah. Look, the Warriors have a run home that includes the Dolphins, Dogs, and Manly. So that it's not overly easy.
No.
But they've got a little bit to...
I think probably 2 out of those 3 are relatively winnable.
I think they could probably beat the Dolphins and the Dogs.
Yeah.
Manly concerns me.
Yeah, Manly's going strong at the moment. So the Dogs are on tilt. They need to fix that up. Otherwise, I think the Warriors will take them.
I can't wait for Newcastle to go on a stupid run at the end of the season. Adam O'Brien gets to keep his job. It seems to happen all the time, doesn't it?
How does the Cowboys do one of those things and Todd Payton doesn't lose his job?
Fire him anyway.
Okay, that was the best. That was the most fun game around.
Gosh, please.
So that was that. What a weird round, and what a weird game to end off a weird round.
Yes.
Now, next week, the women's Cowboys come up against the Raiders. Hopefully, this should be good. Okay, for the Cowboys, Ja'Kai Whitfield's back after being a late scratching last week, so Crystal Blackwell moves back to the wing, and Malupo is back to the reserves. Yeah. Kira Dibb is named in the reserves. I still haven't found anything as to why she's been ruled out. No. I don't know why she's there. She's named with the captaincy, so maybe she'll be a late in. We'll see, but for now, Tallulah Tillett is still the half.
She was fine. I mean, she's a good replacement.
Yeah. For the Raiders, Emma Barnes and Kerahatina Matua are returned via the bench. Mackenzie Wiki slots onto the wing, replacing Isabella Waterman, and Jordan Preston starts for the first time this year in the second row. The Raiders are not going very well. The Cowboys are going okay. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think they'll be okay. I'm expecting a big game from Jasmine Peters. I think she is due for a boom game.
I mean, she's an Origin star, so she
exactly. I think if she's going to have a good game, it's against this Raiders defense that isn't great. So I hope she can put together a good one.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys win this.
I think so.
I've tipped them by 14, which I think is fair.
Canberra will want to try and improve there.
I'm fairly concerned to tip teams by big margins, unless I truly believe that it's going to be a flogging. Kind of like the first game of the men's round this week, which was Storm Roosters. I think that the Storm are going to have fried chicken for dinner. This is going to be ugly.
Yeah, Bellamy will get them right up for this one. Yeah.
The Chad Townsend resurgence has lasted all of 1 week. He has been dropped unceremoniously for Sandon Smith.
Good, because Sandon Smith's a good
They should have done last week. Hugo Savala is named in the reserve, so he could be back this week, but I'm expecting him to be back next week.
Yeah.
Billy Smith and Victor Radley are both out, so Ethan King comes into the centres, and the returning Siwa Wong starts at the
White and Wong again.
Yes, White and Wong. White and Wong. Great forward. So good. Cam Munster is being given the week because his father's funeral is
NASA suspended.
NASA suspended for 2 weeks because of the stray elbow. So Tyron Wishart starts at 6. Kane Bradley and Bronson Garlick both join the bench. Melbourne technically have a losing record at Allianz, but they have won the past 2. Actually, no, they haven't played here since 2016. I don't know how that happens, but it has. The Roosters notoriously have a hard time beating Melbourne, so I think that Melbourne are going to win by quite a bit.
Yeah. Go the Storm.
20 plus.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting. Yeah. Okay. Cowboys Dragons. Jackson Paulo has been sent to Timbuktu after his performance last week. So Rob Derby is back on the wing.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thanks.
Hopefully the week off will have him fresh, ready to go, and not drop every other ball.
Well, he's going up against a halves pairing that isn't great, so hopefully he doesn't have much to worry about kicking-wise. Murray Talangi is out for, I think, about a month with a hamstring problem.
So that puts...
Braden Burns is on the wing.
Yeah.
Jackson Purdue is in the centres. And Tom Duffy comes back into the team as the 5'8". Yeah.
At least he's a 5'8", I guess.
He's a halfback in Q-Cup, isn't he?
I thought when he and Clifford were playing, he was 5'8", and Clifford was half.
I don't know, man. It's all weird.
Well, he's a half, which is more than what Purdue is.
This is true. And other changes, Tom McKaylee is out with, I think, a knee problem. But John Bateman is back. So what happens is Ruben Cotter moves to lock. Harrison Edwards starts at prop. That's what's going on there. It's certainly the bench is made up of Lawton, Hess, Lars, and someone else. I forget who it is now.
Name?
No, Neem starts again. He'll churn out another 16. I think
Hess.
O'Donnell, that's right. I keep forgetting he exists.
Okay.
Todd? For the Dragons,
Mm-hmm.
Sione Finau is out with a dislocated shoulder. So Corey Allen moves to the wing, and Matt Fionney joins to the centres because Valentine Holmes is unavailable for the rest of the season, I think, which sucks for them. This is a bona fide poo slinger. This is going to be such a bad game. I'm calling it now. The Cowboys have a 3-1 record at Queensland Country Bank Stadium against the Dragons. Tom Dean is going to have to do a hell of a lot to get this team over the line. That being said, it's possible.
He does a lot most weeks.
I think the game plan for the Cowboys is try and attack the centres. Because surely a centre pairing of Fionney and Sully is not strong defensively. You can surely go around them. If they play properly, I think Jeremiah Nano could be in for a big day. We will see how this goes. Please, Cowboys win. I tipped them by 6.
That's probably fair because the Dragons, I don't think they've been flogged yet, have they? I mean, they've
got poleaxed on Anzac Day.
Oh, okay.
But they always...
A lot of their losses have been pretty small.
Yeah, they've been pretty close most of the time. What was it? 7 of their 10 losses have been by like 8 points or less.
Yeah. So being a 6 would probably be about right.
Oh, and they got creamed by the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, well, the Dolphins are creaming everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think Cowboys probably win just. Yeah. Okay, Bronx versus Eels.
What do you want to say?
Where is Temple Clifford?
That frustrates me. I don't know why Carl Lawton is still in this team. What does he do?
Where's Robson anyway?
He's playing.
Okay, cool.
What do you mean, where's Reese Robson? He's playing. Anyway, Broncos Eels. So the Broncos come off the bye. They welcome back Kane Haas, Jesse Arthurs, and Corey Jensen. So Tyson Smoothie, Dean Mariner, and Ben Talty drop off from the squad that beat Titans before the bye. For the Eels, Mitch Moses is back, which is massive for them. But Isaiah Iongi is out with a broken hand, I think. I don't know why I've written calf there. I'm pretty sure it's a broken hand. So they shift Josh Papali'i to fullback, and footy Dean Hawkins plays 6. Dylan Brown is still in the reserves because no one likes him. Will Penasini is back in the centres for Bailey Simonson. Luca Moretti joins the bench. At Suncorp, it is 10 wins apiece. This feels like a trap game.
This is because Para do play well against Brisbane.
They really play well against Brisbane.
Yeah.
I'm smelling a very, very possible upset. I really think it's possible. However, I do think that look, Parramatta have nothing to lose at this point. There's a lot of people playing for the jobs. Moses is back.
Who's the 6?
It's Dean Hawkins.
Okay, yeah.
Like you were saying, yeah. I think Brisbane might want it a little more because they still need to try and keep in touch with the top 4. I think they'll pull it out, but this could get very, very close. I've tipped Brisbane by 2.
Yeah, because Para, like we said, Para do play well.
They do play well against Brisbane.
They match up well for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I don't know what it is.
The halves are very good kickers of the ball. I suppose that's one.
Yeah, Mitch Moses could have a big game, I reckon.
And he's fast. Look, he's probably the fastest halfback in the competition.
I think if Brisbane are going to win, it's going to be off the back of, unfortunately, Ezra Mam. Because he's... For as much as I hate the idea of him playing, he has been playing and he has been fairly good. So I think a lot's going to go through him. He's going to be matched up against Dean Hawkins. That feels like a bit of a mismatch. So if they can find a little bit of space for Mam around, especially the second rowers of like Charlie Geimer and these sorts of guys that aren't very mobile, they could get a little bit of joy. So I don't know. This feels like a trap game to me. We will see. It's a 50-50 chance, I think, that the Parramatta Eels win here.
They've got as good a chance as any of beating Brisbane. So yeah. So I actually agree. I think it's going to be pretty close. I would like Parra to win just because Brisbane
suck.
Don't like themselves.
Brisbane loses and Cronulla, both of which you don't like.
If Brisbane lose, it's good for everyone.
It's like Collingwood, isn't it?
Yes.
Collingwood lose 2 in a row, yes.
Manly. Everyone liked Fremantle getting in the 8.
Yeah, but we're not talking about AFL.
Brisbane, close.
Yeah.
However,
not close.
Tigers Titans at Mount Smart Stadium. Charles Nickel Clock Stadium.
Tigers Titans?
That one, yes. Warriors Titans. They're playing at Mount Smart Stadium. Charles Nickel Clockstad is back.
Yes.
Good.
That is a big
massive for them. So then, unfortunately for Tane Tuapiki, who's a great player, he moves to the 18th man. For the Titans, it gets worse. Tino is out for about a month with an MCL sprain, so Cleese Haas starts at 13. The bench is now a mishmash of Josh Patson, Jacob Alec-Weinke, and Isaac Fasul Malawi with Lofiana Camperera and David Fafita dropping out. David Fafita's apparently aggravated his ankle again. That's just COVID. He doesn't want to play for this team. Neither would I. This is not a contest. By a lot.
This is going to be a bullying session.
I think the news from the Courier Mail is that the Titans are going to let Des do this one because it'll be his 500th game as a coach, and then he will be shown the door and then kicked out and then hit with a flamethrower. That's just anecdotal.
And then his ashes will be thrown into space.
Yeah. Warriors by a lot. I don't think there's much to say here.
Nah. Go to the Warriors.
Go to the Wars.
Go to the Wars.
I just want the top 4 to be interesting, so I hope someone can.
This could be a little bit of an interesting game because the Tigers always play well against Penrith.
I am intrigued by this. I feel like
it's Penrith versus Penrith below.
Look, the first matchup these two had this season, I had a lot of interest in because there would have been so many emotions for a lot of these players, former clubs, all that jazz. I think the energy is going to be taken out of this one a little bit, which will be detrimental for the Tigers more than anything because they coast on energy, not on skill. Unfortunately, now Penrith are at full strength. Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo are back. Brian Toto is still named despite being pulled early with, I think, a knee issue last week. So I don't think he's been healthy at all this year. I think they just need to give him a few weeks to get healthy. I don't think they're going to miss him at all. I guess we'll see. Isaac Tungo is back from suspension. So Brad Schneider reverts to the bench. Paul Alamoni and Jack Cole are both in the reserves. Well, I think he was only there for the sake of goal kicking and being strong. Now that Tungo is back, he's still strong. Cleary is back for the goal kicking.
Tungo needs to work on his defense, however. But anyway.
He's been a bit hit and miss with defense this year. It's a bit weird. For the Tigers, I didn't even know that this guy was playing for the Tigers now. Isaac Thompson, the guy with the best beard who used to play for the Rabbits, he's a Tiger now.
Okay.
So he's playing for them because Charlie Staines was terrible last week.
Yes.
That's the only change. Penrith are 3-0.
Penrith will probably win, but I hope the Tigers put up a good
fight. For as much as this is a Taylor May revenge game. This is the ultimate revenge game. He's played one game and now he's back. Going back after his old stomping grounds. I think that Penrith are playing too well. May will probably have a big one, though.
Yeah, I just hope the Tigers make it competitive.
I hope so. I like competitive football.
Yeah. It's not much fun when one team wins by a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's not much fun.
It's be fairly nondescript, I think.
I guess we'll do what they have to do to win.
Exactly. Bunnies Sharks, this is at Gosford. For some reason. Polytech Stadium, whatever the one in Gosford is.
It's a nice stadium at Gosford.
It is a good stadium. Okay, so for the Bunnies, Jai Gray is back.
That's
huge.
That's a big in.
That's a big in for them because they've been missing Spark out the back. So Alex Johnston moves to the wing. He's signed an extension that's going to keep him at South for a couple of years. That's great. Isaiah Tass moves to the centres. Ewan Aitken is back to the edge. Humpty Dumpty fell off a wall and got concussed. So Lewis Dodd is now playing halfback for the first time this season. All right.
It might be nice for him. I mean, maybe
I
he gets to
like the idea of him being good.
Yeah.
But in bad news, Keon Kalamatangi and Peter Mamazales are both out. So Sean Kepi starts, Ryan Gray, and debutante alert, Ashton Ward joined the bench.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know who Ashton Ward is.
He's a
Rabbitoh.
For the Sharks, Jesse Ramian is back, which he displaces Chris Viola, who scored last week, and now he's gone. So Billy Burns starts on the edge for the concussed Britain Nikita. Yeah. Daniel Atkinson joins the bench. Daniel Atkinson. Look, Jai Gray's not going to be able to do enough to get this team over the line, but I don't know. Something about this game screams Cronulla being what we know they are, which is bad. They've had a few games like this season where they do not win by nearly as much as they should. I still think they will win, but I think Souths could put up a hell of a fight, especially if Cronulla go into this game thinking, oh, this will be a breeze because there is no one playing for Souths right now. I think that is a very distinct possibility. I've tipped them by 4. It's very also possible they win by 30. So equally likely. Yes, watch the space. Rose up 5 octaves there. You tipping Cronulla, I assume? Yeah, that's fair.
Rangers Knights at GIO.
Rangers Knights, GIO Stadium. Interesting. I'm intrigued. Sebastian Crisp is out, so Simi Sasangi starts at centre, and Noah Martin joins the bench. For the Knights, the only change, Jack Hetherington joins the bench. He replaces Thomas Kent.
Oh, Jack Hetherington.
Oh, yes, I know you don't like him. No. Canberra have lost their past 2 against Newcastle at GIO Stadium. They are notoriously not a great home team. Newcastle have been close to playing spoiler a couple of times this season for some of the top teams. I think it could happen again here. I do think the Raiders might just come over.
The Raiders have got a little bit more polish on their game.
I think that's fair.
Than the Knights too. The Knights' defence will keep them in it.
Newcastle will frustrate them, I think.
Yes.
Because we know how good Newcastle's defence is. I think they're going to be quite frustrating for this Raiders team that's, for the lack of a better term, coasted for most of this season. So this is very possible. I think the Newcastle could get up here. I don't think they will. I took the Raiders by 2, very similar to the Broncos-Eels game. But I don't know. This game.
There's a couple of games in here this week that could be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the Raiders win, but I don't think it's by a lot. I think because
the Knights are just annoying.
Yeah, they are.
They only got one fly. That's what the Newcastle
was in the toilet, just buzzing around.
Yeah, exactly.
Flies can't attack. That's why they're flies.
Bingo. There you go. Nailed it. Okay, final game of the round. Dogs Seagulls at Allianz Stadium. This will be fun.
Yeah.
Allianz, which is Bronson Sherry is back.
That's good.
So Inari Tuala moves to the wing, and Jethro Renakama is out.
That's a mistake.
That makes me sad. I want to
keep him out and leave Renakama in the team.
I know how good Inari Tuala is, which is not. So, and Newcastle know that.
Just because he's got a beard now doesn't mean he's good.
Yeah, we need outside backs with beards now because Shibasaki's really good. It doesn't work.
It's not a beard.
It doesn't work.
It's not a beard, it's a goatee.
It's a type of beard.
Yes,
don't care, it's different.
For the Bulldogs, Sam Hughes starts at prop. Josh Curran moves to the bench. That covers the injury. Satili Tupanua. That sucks. Momole Olakawatu is back.
Yeah,
that's massive for them. So
literally massive.
Yes. So Waddell moves to the bench and Tommy Talau drops to the 18th man. Manly pulled the massive upset last week. And the Dogs have been anything but convincing. I think it could be 2 for 2 upsets for Manly. I'm tipping them this week.
Yeah.
Manly were the team to knock the Dogs out of the finals race last year.
It's true. There's some fun feelings here now. Revenge.
Look, the Dogs have got to turn it around. I think they do in this game. I think the Dogs can come back and actually give Manly a bit of a wake-up call to say, hey, you're going well, but, we're still here. But, once again, it could be the other way. It could be that Manly just overpower the Dogs because they've been going well recently.
I think Tom Trebojevic could be in for, one of the vintage games. He could go bananas here. I'm really, really interested to see if he can,
I'd like to see kick out, get a bit... He was fairly involved last week.
He's starting to kick out play. He plays the left, so he will be matched up against Olakawatu.
That's a good match.
That will be a lot of
fun. That's a big hit matchup.
That'll be a lot of fun.
You're going to put the first big hit on each other.
Kick out. This will be a big hit. That's kick out boy. He's a bit like Felice Kafusi in that regard. I think that's fair. I don't know. Something about the Seagulls now feels really, really good. Something feels like
They seem to have clicked a bit.
When Anthony Seabold was coaching for his job, seemingly, I don't know why he was under so much pressure. I thought he was fine.
They've never been a bad side. This is it. They've always been in finals.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know why Anthony Seabold was under so much pressure. Weird.
His team's working for him
now.
So well done.
Yeah.
Good luck with your tipping, everybody.
Good luck.
We hope all the teams play well, unless you're a Dragon supporter.
Yes.
And before we go, it was this man's birthday, like 5 days ago.
This man's 157 years old.
Thank you very much. I invited the team.
Send it by carrier pigeon. Let's go. Maybe hire a clip.
Telegraph.
Send him a cupcake or a cookie.
Yeah.
Code.
Spell him happy birthday in the comments.
3, not 157. Okay. Have a really good week, everybody. If you like to, like and subscribe. If you like having a look at some tweets, look at the previous and next week's games.
I'd be very sad about the team we follow being terrible, unfortunately.
Yay!
All right. Okay.
Have a good week, everyone.
Catch you guys.
Goodbye.